the cusses.
Oh. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just
makes you
really...
cuss.
And you just ruined her intro.
Really ticked me off. I forgot that I didn't press the branding thing, so I thought we'd have a bit of recovery from.
No, you were distracted.
Or just really ticks me off. Well, today we're going to talk about something that makes me very happy, and it is fantasy movies. It is fantasy movies. Now, we were going to be having Wheel of Time today, but Gravy could not make it. Oh gosh, that's someone else's nickname for her. Lady Gravemaster could not make it. So something unexpected came up, so we're going to delay that till next week. Today we are going to be talking about fantasy movies. We have today on my panel, first of all, the lovely Princess Rennie.
Hi, Teresa. Thank you so much for asking me to come on. I really appreciate it. It's truly an honor. I love your channel, and I love talking about stuff that we like versus stuff that we don't like. So that's always fun, and it puts me in a positive, happy mood.
Yay!
It's very nice to be here with all of you guys.
Excellent. And on down to my right is Lady OG Star Wars.
Hello, everyone. I am so honored to be here as well. When I got invited, I was like, yes, I could talk about fantasy movies and just steer away from the normal talk of Star Wars. And so I am looking forward to this. We can nerd out on all these old fantasy movies.
Oh, excellent. And right beneath me is none other than... it's none other than Saint Nicholas himself, Saint Nicholas Kenobi.
Hi, I have the high ground on the chimney. I have something to say though. The movie "It's a Wonderful Life" from 1946, directed by Frank Capra, starring James Stewart and Donna Reed and Lionel Barrymore. It was never intended to be a Christmas movie. It was later adapted as a Christmas movie due to the ending of it and the Christmas message, but it was never intended to be there. All who deny that are my foes.
Well, there we go. You heard it here first. And in the true spirit of St. Nicholas, it is St. Nicholas Day. And as we all know, he does not take fools kindly. He will punch you in the face. True story, mostly.
I don't punch people.
Well, St. Nicholas does.
Oh, okay. So
I thought Krampus was the one that did all the dirty work.
No, St. Nicholas, like the real St. Nicholas, he fought the Arian heresy. Arius was a real dick in the early church, and he punched him in the face. But Arius had it coming, okay? He really did. But I digress. Let's say hi to this chat. Let's say hi to the chat. If I'm going backwards, I am sorry. I'm still figuring out some things on my laptop. It is Snortapoopa Scooper. Hi, whoa! I suppose we love our animals here at Miss Martin Muses. We love our animals here at Miss Martin Muses, and we have our resident polar bear. We also have our resident other animal, Lost Jedi 22. Lost Jedi 22 says Star Wars rumors are fantasy. Shots fired.
Without the clever world building too.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you have lots of security and have a subscription to LifeLock, Lost Jedi, because, well, some people don't take very kindly to the truth. They can't handle the truth. Sentinel says, hello, Sentinel. It's a wonderful dildo. I think I didn't see the context of that. Okay. Shane Nolan all the way.
How do we get to dildos here?
I don't know. Sounds like a long movie.
I think she was so excited about that quote unquote toothbrush she was talking about a little bit ago.
It just kind of resonated through.
Director's cut means it's circumcised.
Oh dear.
Oh no. Okay. Shane Nolan, all the way from the Emerald Isle. Shane Nolan is always here. Thank you very much. Except he's actually always here until he's not, because he has to go. But he does say hi, Teresa, Alora, and Princess Rennie. Can't stay. I'll catch up tomorrow. Have a great show, everyone. Apparently, Stieg, you are chopped liver, but that's okay because.
Well, you know, he comments on my commercial stuff, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so that makes
nice.
sense. Yeah, and I don't know why it's okay. It's not okay. that I have the high ground. So there. Tyrone Beard, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. We also have a Jack Lumen, Red 5 standing by. Thank you very, very much. We also have, did I get everybody? I think everyone's saying hello in there. Oh, I'm saying hello. What a pile of crap. Well,
Rude.
that's
Good
I hope
heavens.
I don't know what you're referring to, Michael Morrell.
Well, I'm hoping
but I hope that you didn't step in it, or at least you wiped or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a joke. If it's not a joke, shame on you. If it is a joke, okay. All right. And I think I got everyone. If I did not get everyone, I do apologize. Oh, we have Huffle Mama. Also, everyone's saying hello to themselves. I mean, to each other. We have Nerd Poop is
to themselves.
we are not allowed to talk before the stream ever again. Okay. Nerd says,
we come in hot, right? We come in hot.
Yeah. I am only my furry, humble self. And true furry, not a furry humble self. If I used a different name, I'd forget and start talking to myself. It's okay. I have so many different names. I don't even know what my real name is anymore. Thumbs down for shame. I didn't recognize the Stig new avatar.
No, because the ladies said it was Christmas already, so I just put it up for spite.
I was gonna say, if you're bad, this is the Santa Claus that comes to you.
Yeah, there you go. If you're not, you're nice. I love that.
This is not Santa Claus. It's Satan Claus.
Oh,
CLAWS.
Oh my goodness,
dude!
That's like a nightmare. It's not Nightmare Before Christmas. It's Nightmare During Christmas. You need to be good, or Satan Claus is going to come after you.
Yep.
Satan Claus. Oh my gosh. No, but Stig is actually correct.
So
I'm going to
there we go.
But I'm going to take it one step further. Technically, it's not Christmas until Christmas Eve in the evening. And it stays Christmas officially the 12 days of Christmas until Epiphany, which is January 6th. And then Christmas tide lasts until February 2nd.
Naked Fame in the chat is upset that you didn't notice his nakedness or fame.
Oh my goodness gracious! I am so sorry. You don't look.
And he's a huge twat fan. Oh, sorry, twat. I read it wrong.
Oh my gosh! Damn you, Steve. Well, I'm not a twat.
No, I just figured that's why he was naked, but then I realized it's the Wheel of Time, isn't it?
Okay, so. I'm a huge twat fan, and the Wheel of Time fan, and Miss Martin doesn't say hi to me. I am so sorry, Naked Fame. If I did not say hi, it's all Stig's fault.
Yep.
Let's see.
But we're not talking about the Wheel of Time today because Greymaster has a pressing business.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're doing it next week.
Yes.
Oh, we're still
but the Wheel of Time turns and all that anyway, so doesn't matter.
I see what you did there. Miss Martin Muses, don't worry, there are any dislikes. Got that Chrome extension baby, and it's the bomb. Okay, it's all right. Never mind. Okay, Kroll was awesome. Also, I like Never Ending Story and Lord of the Rings, though. Okay, well, stay tuned. We're going to be talking to a few of them.
I started a Never-Ending Story, but I never got to the end.
Waka
Okay.
I'm fed up with this world. I am too. This one is fun. I know. Someone's saying hi to Stig. Okay. Well, it's okay. Yeah. Oh, hello there. G Stig, whose business are you pressing this time?
Pressing. I'm not pressing anything.
I get it. Like pressing business.
I'm pressing my luck with a bad diet.
Oh no, you eat fish, so fish is good for you. Willow would also be an acceptable topic. I'm not entirely sure what we have going here. Okay, you know what? I think this is awesome that the chat is so active and funny. The best chat ever is with Miss Martin Muses, if I say so myself. You all are amazing and funny.
The topics are unknown because each of us had to pick two movies, and the rest of us don't know.
Yeah, that's I hope I didn't pick the same as somebody else. If so, I really apologize.
Yeah, you should.
Rude.
No, no, you told me, but I don't think that we have shared it with others. But that's going to be a little bit part of the fun. But yes, we are all bringing 2 fantasy movies to talk about, and we're going to start today with Princess Rennie. So, Princess Rennie, what is one of your favorite?
So I told you about this one, and I know people are probably going to laugh at me, but one of the fantasy movies that has always been near and dear to my heart is Shrek. So I know it's like kind of silly and kind of kiddie, but there's a lot of adult humor, at least in the first one. You know, of course, you know, they have the classic like princess trope, but you know, it's not quite the same as other fantasies, and it takes like a different turn. It's definitely not the same as the book Shrek, but it's still cute. I love Mike Myers as Shrek, Eddie Murphy as Donkey. Everybody just really plays well off of each other, and it's a cute movie, but like, you know, it's got its comical moments, and it's, you know, kind of sad, or, you know, like, you know, not really scary moments, but just like, oh no, you know, really sad moments. And then, you know, at the end, it winds up being a feel-good movie. So, you know,
Yeah.
I really love like the fairy tale creatures that they bring in from like all kinds of different stories. I think that's really neat how they're all just kind of meshed together.
Yeah.
So it's just a fun movie for me.
Yeah. Of all those points, I completely agree with. I love the way it's like a reverse Beauty and the Beast, if you will, where she chooses the ugly at the end. That she's ugly.
Yeah, it's like love is not like what you see. Love is that love comes from within, right? And that's the whole trope of it as well. It's like true love or whatever you want to follow in that little trope right there. It's like, it's not, you know, you could still be attracted to someone no matter the looks and stuff, because it's all about how you're treated and all that as well.
Absolutely. So, it's all what's in your heart. Totally.
You're like an onion with layers.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. How like, wasn't that, didn't he refer to that being an onion with layers?
Yes.
Yeah, and then at the end at their wedding, their little carriage was shaped like an onion.
Yes. And so I like Donkey too, because he's like, let's make some waffles or something like that.
I will say
about that when I think of that.
You know, you gotta love him, because like I've always been a huge Eddie Murphy fan, and I think that's really what drew me into this movie at first. I was like, what's Eddie Murphy doing in like an animated film? That's so weird. And then I'm like, oh my god, I love this movie.
I know what it was doing though. It was being an ass.
He usually is.
And here he comes in with his pun.
Also, Luffy in the chat asked if I have snow yet. Yes, I have a lot of snow in my area
didn't
too.
you post a pic of snow?
Yeah. Luffy's from Norway as well. Further north than I am, though.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yes, he's got some seriously intense snow going on right now. Greg says it's not about the looks.
No, I'm not intense. I'm in my apartment.
Oh God.
Badum-tis.
You would see me rolling my eyes if you could see me. It's not about the looks. It's a real fantasy, says Greg. Yes and no. There is a lot. Yeah, anyone that says that looks don't play a part, they're a fool. But there is some.
It's more than just looks, but still looks. You know, looks still, because you feast with your eyes too, right? You do.
Yeah.
Everybody does. I don't care who you are. You feast with your eyes, but then this also shows that it can go deeper than that.
Yeah, and I mean, let's just be honest. Everyone likes to shag different things, and
everyone has different tastes, right? You know, there are people who like furries, right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, wait. I was about ready to make a very inclusive, tolerant conversation. Then you had to bring in furries. Yeah,
there's tiers between that and normal.
Did you guys ever
ruined your moment?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you gotta want to
she
shag.
Went right for the 11 out of 10, you know.
Well, here's the deal. yes, you gotta want to shag what you're in love with. It does. But you can also learn to be turned on by different. Oh wait, I just need to stop right here. Okay.
Well, I think whenever you first initially meet someone, of course, there's going to be physical attraction and all that stuff. But then when you love someone, it doesn't matter. Like, they could gain weight, they could lose weight. It doesn't matter. You still love them, or their ass might look fat in those pants, but you still love them and you still want to be with them, So
yeah, it's not what it looks like. It's what they can do with it.
With the ass?
No.
Oh my.
Oh gosh. You see, maybe it's a good thing that Lady Gravemaster couldn't make it. Okay. The Sentinel. This is where the fun begins.
I know I'm going to catch the blame for this.
Oh no, I do not want to shag Shrek. Not at all.
No.
No. Picture a donkey getting on with a dragon, says Greg. No. All right. Okay.
Honestly, when I first seen that and I was like, realized that they had kids, I was like, something does not fit here.
Yeah, the half donkey, half dragons.
He must have been hung like a donkey, really.
I am very pleased to see so many people in the chat having so much fun and maybe having too much fun with this conversation. But welcome, everyone. I know I cannot get to... I do appreciate everyone and everyone that is coming in. And please, if you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button, give a share into everyone. And please continue to say comments like this. Snortapoopa Scoobura says, 9 out of 10 lady bears find me very sexy. The seals, not so much.
So he's saying it's not polarizing. Ironic.
Oh my gosh. Jack Loomis says, good farmers, ranchers, also zookeepers know that animals have differing looks. What is stopping you, buddy bear? Okay. Lost Jedi says, disagree. I've disowned family for stupid hats. Oh no. The Sentinel says, so that's what sex between Hillary and Bill looks like. Okay, remember they had to do it at least once and once only because they apparently wanted to have some offspring. So
yeah, and looking at the offspring, I think it counted as anal.
Oh.
Okay. We went from Shrek fantasy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I worked in an electronics store, says Tyrone Beard. We were selling DVD players. We could only play GPG DVDs. Shrek was on loop for 8 hours every day, and I wanted to kill so many people. Well, Rennie, since this is your movie, what's your favorite part? I mean, if you were to say like a certain scene or a line or something about this movie, what would it be?
That's a tough one to say. I really like the dynamic between Donkey and Shrek. So I love when I like the castle scene when they rescue the princess, and whenever, I don't know, that's really hard because there's so much to like about it. But you remember that scene where they're going across a bridge and Shrek scares the hell out of Donkey, but he winds up making it across the rickety bridge without realizing. He's like, oh, cool. I think that was really cute.
Aww.
And then the scene where they're sitting outside once they've rescued Fiona, and they're sitting there just kind of sharing their feelings, and Shrek's very crusty because he doesn't want to let anybody into his heart, and you can tell he and Donkey are kind of bonding, and he actually kind of cares about Donkey a little bit. So I thought that was really cute too.
Yeah. Well, there you are. Yeah. My favorite parts wasn't in the first one so much as in the second one because I loved Puss in Boots.
Oh,
yeah. He was. I think he kind of stole the show in that a little bit.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah, and Stig is all quiet about this. Do you have anything to say, Stig?
Yeah, I like Shrek.
Do you really?
I watched it when it came out. I think it was one of those first movies that people would download and, back in the day, Napster and all that stuff was going on, starting to happen. People started downloading movies, and Shrek was, one of the first ones that I remember. But yeah, I liked it. I haven't watched it more than once or twice though, because I don't watch animated movies that much. But I'd give it like an 8. It's a perfectly superb fairy tale story, really.
Well, there you are.
There you are.
Nice. I don't know if you saw what Greg said, but I cannot say that out loud. That is also a fantasy story, a very frightening one.
Not there.
Yeah. Once again, welcome everyone coming in. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here.
I think Bill got COVID from shagging an old bat.
Oh dear.
Oh. Well, he didn't do it when she was old, though. He only had sex with her once, and that was when they were.
She's always looked old.
I mean, that's kind of true.
Oh, okay. Soul Assassin says, "I remember the Smash Mouth song playing nonstop when Shrek came out."
True.
Yeah.
Every time I hear that song, I think of Shrek all the damn time now.
Yeah. Right. You associate it with Shrek.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It says Lost Jedi says not. It was relevant, just disturbing. Okay, I'm not entirely. Y'all are great. Y'all are great. And did we lose the naked one? I don't know, but if you're still here, that sounded wrong. Not the naked fame. Naked.
You have a streaker.
You really got naked on the boat.
Yeah, we have streakers here at Miss Martin Muses. We have animals at Miss Martin Muses. We have lots at Miss Martin Muses here. Okay, Sentinel says, I feel bad for the NSL actress who has to play Hillary. Imagine feeling so old looking that you're the first and perfect person to play her. Yeah, yes. All right, well, that is
They should
Shrek.
Have what's her name? The Twilight actor. Kristen Stewart should play Hillary, because she can't smile either.
Yeah, she's too busy playing Princess
Diana.
Daisy
too seems to have that kind of like non-smile presence too.
Yeah, and she's very wooden. Yeah.
Though in defense of her, I did see her in Murder on the Orient Express, and she actually was kind of nice and charismatic and everything.
She was okay.
Yeah, they took the love and the joy and the charisma out of every actor in that sequel trilogy and sucked it into a black hole.
Yeah, and I was just even telling about like Adam Driver. Like if you see him outside, he if you ever listen to him sing, he has that classical tone like Frank Sinatra. No, he's not a Frank Sinatra, but he has that classical tone like him. He went to Juilliard's. He went to Juilliard's for acting and singing and performing and stuff like that.
He was great in The Last Duel. I watched that one the other day.
Oh, okay.
He was excellent in it.
Yeah, and so I think like I just think that the ST really or the DT just really screwed them up. Like the performance level, like what was expected, they weren't directed right. Nothing was right with it. Obviously, they didn't have a plan, and so basically that shows through the actors acting as well.
Yeah, and they took away their good looks as well, because Daisy Ridley does have a bit of a classical beauty to her. I think that's why she looks so good in something set in the 1930s. Well, Rennie, Princess Rennie, we are done now with Shrek. We are done with Shrek. What is your other movie?
Okay, my other one, don't laugh, is well, I don't know which one would be my favorite, but I would say Harry Potter. And I know it's a guilty pleasure of mine, and a lot of people find that kind of childish and silly, but I think, and I love like the movies, especially like the first, second, and third one. That those always hold a dear place to my heart. That's right before it starts getting really dark. But yeah, just very whimsical and fun story for me. I know like there's some dark tones to it as well, but
Harry Potter was awesome.
the boy who lived, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's uh, Harry Potter backs up a point I've made many times. It's the importance of the setting of the story because Hogwarts is so fleshed out, it feels like a real place.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Hogwarts is a character. And this is why world building and stuff is important in fantasy.
Mhm.
Even in Batman, Gotham City is important because it's the character that every other character interacts with all the time,
Right.
which it
Yeah.
means to be the most solid. And look at what Tolkien did with Middle Earth. No Middle Earth, and you wouldn't have had the Lord of the Rings being a classic.
Yeah,
Mm.
true.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Hogwarts is yeah, Rowling did great with Hogwarts.
Yeah, it was its own character, and its theme music. Whenever you hear da 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 when they're coming up on it, it's like it's
Yeah,
alive. It's warm. I
Yeah.
absolutely adore the Harry Potter movies. I think that they're great. The books, of course, are better, but
Mhm.
once I got into them. See, the first one I saw a few months after it came out, but from then on, I was going to the midnight releases of them, and it was so much fun, so
Yeah.
magical, if you would. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Rennie, what's your favorite? I guess you said the first three were your favorite. Do you have any particular favorite moments from the first three films?
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, my all-time favorite film of all of them is number 3. I think that's the story was really well done.
that's my favorite too.
Yeah, it's just really cool how they kinda did a self-fulfilling prophecy, but instead of falling into the trap, they actually saved the day. So I thought that was really cool. Um, so I don't know, that's really hard. So, like, in the first movie, my favorite moment was when Hagrid gave Harry the album at the end and he could see, his parents in, like,
Mhm.
the little moving pictures. I thought that was really sweet, and it kinda cemented the relationship between Harry and Hagrid.
Oh
In the
yeah.
second movie, I thought it was really cool
Mm.
when Harry defeated the basilisk. So, and then when Fox came to save him, and he defeated like the Horcrux of Voldemort, but he didn't know it was a Horcrux. And then in the
Yeah.
third movie, it was really cool to
You thought it
see.
was just a whole.
I
Sorry.
think that's right.
Hmm.
In the third movie, I loved the rescue of Sirius Black. Sirius Black is one of my favorite
Oh
characters.
yeah.
Gary Oldman was the perfect person to play Sirius.
The only thing I didn't like in the third movie was the werewolf. It didn't have any fur, so
Yeah, it looked weird,
it
right?
looked like a chicken,
Yeah, it was like,
a featherless chicken.
I mean, I know like he was like a human and like he's naked and stuff, but yeah, that was kind of creepy. But yeah.
Yeah, and Hermione. Ooh. Yeah, they were so magical, and it was an amazing feat that they were able to adapt. How many films? It turned out to be 8 films
Eight.
because they
8.
did 2.
Yeah.
Yes, and you saw the actors literally growing up before our eyes. It was an amazing accomplishment. And the only time they had to do a major cast change was, of course, when Richard Harris passed away. And I think that their replacement, they couldn't have done better with the replacement.
Michael Gambon.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Michael Gambon. He's an amazing actor, and I thought he did fantastic. And may he
You
rest
know
in peace.
who was considered for Dumbledore for a while?
Yes.
Christopher Lee.
Really?
Mm.
Oh, yeah, he would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh.
then they decided against it because he's already played a wizard in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Mhm.
mean anything.
No,
Yeah.
but it's typecasting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Well, to me, Richard Harris was the best one because I think
Yes.
that he was more Dumbledore the way he was in the books and all that. But I do understand why Michael Gambon played it the way he did. He wanted to make it his own as well. But
Mhm.
Dag
Yeah, I
Nabbit,
agree with that, Teresa. Like Richard Harris was the book Dumbledore to the T, just about. Agree
Ex-
100%.
he was him incarnate. But OMG, Severus Snape. I mean, you talk about the most perfect casting on
Oh,
planet
yeah.
Earth.
Mm.
Alan Rickman, and how they developed him, and it also shows you how important it is to stick with the creator and the creator's vision, because while a lot of them did not know where the story was going to go, they always looked to her for her guidance, and she would let them know, like, well, wait a second, this is really important, you need to keep this in here, because you'll see later.
Renee,
Yeah.
knock knock.
Who's there?
You know.
You know.
Okay,
Oh, dear.
before we do move on, or continue with the conversation, I had to stop the presses. We have an elf in the house. We have an elf in the house. It is none other than the lovely, the beautiful, the amazing Lady Toriel, all the way from Mirkwood.
Hello.
Hello, elf.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And again, as you all are popping in, I am seeing you all. I'm seeing your comments. Your comments are amazing. I love the stuff that you're saying. I'm seeing a lot of your suggested movies. I'm not necessarily addressing them yet because I don't know if one of the guests are going to bring it up. They have not told me what their choices are. So, but keep them coming. I love it, and I love the conversations that I see you going with. I'm sorry, what is this? Tyrone Beard. Speaking of which, I would have enjoyed that.
Oh, my God.
That cut, the Kill More Kids cut. Well, I'll tell you what, they did some serious slaughtering of those children by the end.
Yeah.
They killed a lot of kids. Well done.
He's not a fan of Harry Potter. Sorry, that's the boyfriend. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's your boyfriend?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
The
Wait,
naked
who?
guy.
Naked?
You're the
No,
man from
Ty-
Frozen.
Ty-
Naked
Tyrone
guy.
Beard.
I
Oh,
know you
okay.
need to run around naked.
Does your husband know about the naked guy?
Oh, my God. Well, I'm not married, but yeah.
Oh,
She said her boyfriend. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, you can have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Hermione. Obviously, the children's acting, they couldn't know as they got older that maybe they wouldn't be able to quite fill out the drama that was required. But especially in the first few, when they were very little, they were just so cute and so perfect.
I know, they were so adorable.
Draco, he was really good. Oh wait, Draco. Gosh, I just saw the Rocky IV. Draco was great.
I have not seen that yet.
Oh, the Rocky IV. Oh, you've got to. I
Yes.
cried so hard.
I know. I want to see, or like the director's cut, right? You're talking about that one?
Yes, of Rocky IV. Now we will be discussing that tomorrow on our Christmas movie stream. But yes, gosh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that there's been a series where everyone was so perfectly cast, even down to the smallest characters, even the side characters. Even like the dude that would be like the bartender, and they had all sorts of great actors. Our Julian Glover even did the voice of the spider when I
Yes, Aragog.
Aragog, yes. And it was funny because I didn't realize that he was going to be in it, and we were chatting at Celebration. I was working with him over the weekend, and I was his assistant. And he said, yeah, every British actor the planet is being cast in Harry Potter. It's like, even I'm doing something in it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's like, well, I'm just doing a voice. But yeah, and they all know each other because they all went to the same like drama schools.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
That's hilarious.
But if you think about it, even the lady that was in the pub in Hogsmeade, she was a chick from Dr. Zhivago. I mean, they got lots of really big actors in it.
yeah, that's Geraldine Chaplin. Charlie
Thank you.
Chaplin's granddaughter.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, just amazing cast that they have.
Julian Glover, who voiced the spider,
Yeah.
played General Veers in Star Wars. and he was also a Bond villain around the same time, and For Your Eyes Only, and also a
Was
villain in an Indiana Jones movie. And he
that's what
was
I was
on,
gonna say. I
he
was
was-
like,
and he
wasn't he in
played
Indiana Jones
Pycelle
3?
on Game of Thrones. So that guy
Oh,
has
that's
been in a
right.
hell of a lot of franchises.
Yeah. And he's an amazing guy. He is unbelievable. He actually, he's one of those that told me a little bit of advice that I stuck to at the end of the weekend. Just slight digression.
Which cup to drink from or not?
Okay.
No. I mean, at the end of it all, he just told me, I want you to continue just being the same open, happy, joyful person that you were this whole weekend. Keep, just stay that way. And I was like, oh, because sometimes, I'm a little eccentric and weird, but apparently he was like, stay that way.
And then I ruined it by telling you to watch Rocky for the director's cut.
Nah, and he wrote me something very special on a little thing. So he's a good guy. Yeah,
that's sweet.
And even he wasn't sure about a lot of the Star Wars stuff because for one thing, he didn't even remember it. Like I would be telling him, okay, this is what you did, and it was really awesome. And like I said, and he said, what did I do? Because everyone's telling me I was so amazing. I said, it was how you delivered that line when he was like, oh, we thought surprise was easy. And he was like, oh, well, okay. It's like, so y'all don't realize how good of an actor you all really are. All you all are. Because we were really spoiled that we had it in there. And he even said that then he was just commenting. He's like, you all, as the people were coming up and all that, it was his first real convention. Like, everyone's just so happy. Everyone's so happy. And I'm like, because we're happy people. And I had a little Empire Strikes Back shirt and hat I was wearing, to be his little mascot. It was cute.
Nice. That's cute. Yeah.
So we love Julian Glover.
Thomas Gilkey has met him too. He said the same thing. Julian Glover was extremely nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And as a little bit of an aside, a lot of people think that famous people have to be assholes. And it's like, no, actually the people that usually are most successful are not assholes. Because most people don't want to work with nationals because nationals can cause issues.
Right.
They want people that are pleasant to work with and people that are willing to take criticism because that's how you get better, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. See, Naked Fame says, I think he played off the other actor. Oh, whoops. Okay, sorry, wrong comment. This one. I also like to see a different hero from each of the other schools at Hogwarts have their own sets. Oh, okay. And maybe I'm thinking, and I think he played off the other actor as well. The accent issue goes away very quickly. The movie is great. All right, maybe things are going very quickly here, and I might have missed it, but this is awesome.
I'm wondering if they're talking about all kinds of movies in there. I don't know.
Oh, I got it. I got the context. Kevin Costner. Okay, so they're talking about Robin Hood. Yeah, Robin Hood. I thought for a second if that would be considered a fantasy movie, but not really.
The only fantasy aspect in it is the witch.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really do too much witchy stuff.
No, not really.
Just she's just there for that, but there's nothing she really does really. Yeah. What would you say Robin Hood is then? Like more
historical fiction,
like an action?
Yeah, historical fiction.
Historical fiction. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is great, and thank you, chat, for helping me out to keep me on track with where you are and what you all are talking about. No, I think it's great. I really enjoy seeing people coming in.
Waterworld is an excellent movie.
Really? I hated it.
It's Mad Max with a boat with boats.
Dude, it was awful.
We're about to get into a digression. So to bring us back, Soul Assassin says American Hogwarts, underage potion drinking, witch broom gangs, and all kinds of crazy stuff. Hey, I'm all in favor of that. The Witch and Man in Tights is better. Okay. All right,
I like latrine.
Final thoughts on the Harry Potter fantasy.
Sorry, what was that, Teresa?
Oh, it's your damn movie. Final thoughts on Harry Potter.
Okay. Sorry. I was too busy laughing and I didn't hear you. I
Oh,
don't know.
geez.
I think they're great fantasy movies, great way to escape. Yeah, eventually the good guys win, the bad guys lose, but it's fun to watch like someone who grew up with nothing, thought that he was nothing, that got treated like garbage until he was like 11 years old, get to actually have a better life and realize that he's something more than he ever thought he could be. And he winds up having friends. Yes, his parents are dead, but his family winds up being his friends. And it's very heartwarming to see this poor little kid go from nothing to someone. And I always like that aspect about those movies, and I like the camaraderie with the three friends, and that's always been like just kind of a heartwarming aspect for me. And yeah, the magic and stuff definitely makes it fun, and watching them do their spells and getting stronger. But it's the camaraderie and the heart of the movies that really gets me into watching them, and gives me fond memories, so to speak.
Oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, it's also one of the few series that I have rewatched from beginning to end several times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's definitely it's going to end up being one of those timeless
Timeless
fantasy
tales.
stories, kind of
Mhm.
like Narnia and stuff like that. I think.
yeah,
I don't think it's going to be as close. It's not going to reach Tolkien level of quality, I guess, but it doesn't have to.
Mhm.
It's a perfectly fine story on its own, and yeah, I mean, there's a reason why it became so popular, and Rowling earned it, really.
yeah.
Yep.
I bet her ex-husband regrets leaving her now.
Right.
Yeah, dumbass.
Yeah.
Before we move on, my thoughts about the Harry Potter is also, gosh darn it, John Williams.
Oh
His
yeah,
scores for
Mhm.
each of those movies, the ones that he was involved with, the first three, were some of probably his last great ones, because he hasn't really
yeah,
done a lot of work since then, done
And you
original
can't really
themes.
the ST does not count. I think that's his worst, one of his worst ones, really, honestly. Um,
yes,
John
agreed.
Williams, though, he is a great composer and everything like that. Like a lot of his stuff, like the majority of his stuff is great, and it helps the movies. It makes them memorable. Like if you hear the score, they're like you automatically think of that movie, right? No matter which one it is.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
sorry,
Well,
Teresa.
he, no. Are you talking about the sequel trilogy? Sorry, because you broke up a bit for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, he wasn't really involved with that. I mean, there wasn't even a lot of real music in there. They just used a lot of
No.
No,
his themes. Yeah.
Mhm.
just kind of
Alrighty.
threw it together, it felt like.
Right.
Yeah. It. He wrote one or two new themes, but they're just his least memorable. But the Harry Potter, it's still one of those movies where I can go into a group of 7-year-olds and start playing it on the piano, and they'll go, Harry Potter! They will know what it is. Harry Potter, and of course, Star Wars. They all know what Star Wars, the
Oh yeah.
music and Jaws. But I digress. Okay, well, thank you, Lady Princess. Gosh, you're a princess.
You can call me whatever you
There
want.
she goes.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
You kind of
is-
did. And
Well, it just occurred to me. I think I called you a princess OG, and it's like, oh wait, you're not a princess.
I'm
and
not
I'm
a
a rose.
princess.
You can be whatever
Yeah.
you want to be.
Yeah, we can be whatever we want to be. Yeah. So,
All right.
all right, and we're not kicking you out, Princess Rennie. But I do know that you might need to go soon, so we wanted to
Yes.
make sure that we got yours in. And now
Yeah,
what
I
I'm going to do is
appreciate that.
you're gonna switch to Queen Balula from the forest. Oh, Alora, I mean.
What?
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 Holy moly. So now we're going to go like one movie at a time through the rest of the panel. And who is going to be going first? Well, that's why God invented D&D. It is going to be none other than, oh my gosh, it was Stieg. So Stieg, what is one of your fantasy
Ladies
movies?
first.
Well, it's Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, big surprise.
Yeah. Directed by John Milius, produced by Oliver Stone, I believe. And the soundtrack was done by the fantastic Basil Papadopoulos, I think his name is. It's like a hell of a name. A soundtrack that rivals John Williams easily. It's they don't follow the source material well. They just cut and paste really and glue it into a movie. But it's done well on its own right. You know, the Arnold couldn't act at that time, and
What do you mean at that time?
he couldn't because
I know.
but they hired him for his physique, and Arnold was smart about it. He said he was talking to the experienced actors on the production, you know, Max von Sydow and James Earl Jones, and he said, "Just treat me as a trained dog, and just tell me what to do, and I'll keep doing it until I get it right enough." Because he recognized that he wasn't as an experienced actor as the other ones. And none of the main trio were experienced actors. The lady was she had impressed the director by showing off as a dancer in the movie, so he needed a lady with some physique as well, an athletic lady. And the guy who played the thief archer fellow, that was Jerry Lopez, a famous surfer who had never acted. So they had 3 non-actors placed in with experienced actors, and it worked. Conan is extremely visual. Cinematography is fantastic, and the soundtrack adds to it. It's almost like a little musical journey thing because there's music all the time in it. Same as with Star Wars, and it's extremely gritty and bloody, which it should be because it's Conan. And Arnold kills the most animals in it. Arnold has a history of killing animals on screen. This one, he kills a big snake, some wolves. He bites a vulture to death.
I remember that.
Kills some horses. Punches a camel till it gets knocked out.
That camel
if
had
you
a
like
camel.
animals, don't watch this movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
and
agree
the supporting actors are, you know, Max von Sydow has a small part. James Earl Jones is superb as the villain.
Oh yeah.
And you have Mako, an Asian actor that you probably have seen in a lot of things. Really good actor. So, you know, diversity. You have a Latino surfer. You have Arnold. You have a lady. You have James Earl Jones and an Asian guy who plays a wizard. They literally checked all the boxes by not even trying to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Soul Assassin says he punched a camel for offering him cigarettes.
The camel packs of cigarettes.
Tyrone says, "Who has not punched a camel though?" Oh my goodness. Iron Wolf says Arnold's greatest acting in that movie is when he let that priest seduce him. Okay.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a priest. It was a witch lady. He threw her into the fire pit, actually.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Wow. Now, I have not seen this movie since I was quite young, so I do need to rewatch it, but I am familiar with the score. The score is absolutely amazing.
Watch that movie. It actually is a good movie.
I haven't watched it in a while too, but I do remember some scenes and stuff because some of them were like memorable, like the punching the camel and, you know, the sacrifice of the witch lady in the fire.
In the second movie, he sees the camel again.
Okay.
As he's riding through like a parade thing. And he apologizes to the camel for what happened last time. The camel spits at him, and Conan punches it again.
Yay! Well done. Yeah. Iron Wolf says they should have used Dolph Lundgren to play Conan. That would have been a good casting.
Lundgren was too young at the time. He was like early 20s.
Yeah, but they used him as He-Man.
Yeah, but He-Man's not Conan. Come on.
I
Well, yeah, but they have the same physique, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but Conan isn't blonde.
Because they have dye for the hair.
That's right.
Yeah, no.
Or
And he's a
wigs.
fucking Swede.
I mean, didn't Schwarzenegger wear a wig, for crying out loud?
Mhm.
Not sure.
Yeah, I don't think his hair is like brown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dark brown in the movie. I don't know if they.
Poor
Yeah.
Steve.
Oh gosh. Snort a Poopus Cooper says, I'd walk a mile to punch a camel.
Well, of course he's a bear.
Yeah. Lady Toriel
Ooh, I like
says
your avatar. Look at that.
Lady Toriel says one of my favorite movies, Mako, was awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. Iron Wolf says no, not a priest. It's where Conan gets his robes to get into the pyramid.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I do need to rewatch it because some of these just don't count when you're a kid. You're just like, whatever. Oh gosh, Iron says punch a camel, walk more than a mile. Yeah, Dan Blackroyd says Conan the Barbarian is one director's commentary, very much worth watching. It adds a lot to the movie and what was planned for the movies originally. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was planned to be. They were going to do it James Bond-ish. They would have, Conan return for a movie every couple of years.
Mm.
But then the head of the studio decided, this should be more for kids and the family. So they turned the next movie family friendly. And it didn't work because Conan is not supposed to be family friendly.
No. I have just gotten from England, actually, the original Conan stories, or rather a very good edition and it's all in hardback, and I'm very excited about reading the original stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that big tome. I have that one. It has all the Robert E. Howard stories in it.
Exactly. I wonder where I got that idea from. I just can't imagine.
I don't know.
Yeah. but the writer of Conan, the original writer, he had a very tragic story. He left us far too soon. Took his own life. So
he was looking after his sick mom all his life almost. And when she passed away, he went into the driveway basically outside the hospital and blew his head off with a shotgun.
Oh my God.
He was in his early 30s at the time.
Yeah, it was incredibly tragic, and both he and his mother then had the same funeral. It was very, very sad. Wait, Teresa will be like Faramir, who after watching no, that will never ever happen.
Oh my God.
Dan Blackbird, anecdote goes that Howard would imagine Conan standing behind him as he wrote. If he made a mistake in the story, he believed Conan would kill him. Oh, well,
yeah,
don't want that
that's actually true. They even made a comic about that. Robert E. Howard sitting there writing, and Conan was behind him.
Oh, Lady Toriel.
Making sure he got it right.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, that's what I call immersive acting. But sorry, of course, Lady Toriel just goes and derails the whole thing.
She did. I was like,
but boy, all those oiled bodies.
That's why she likes Quinlan Voss too, because he's muscular, he's fit. You can imagine oiled up too. Look at that.
Who's this Faramir of who you speak? Get out of here.
Oh my God.
Conan Writer's house is 4 hours from where I live. Oh boy. Well, what a coincidence. Does everybody live in Texas? What the hell?
Well, pretty much everybody's migrating there.
Yeah, you're not there. I know that.
Someone in the chat mentions Grace Jones. I'm going to make a point about that. Grace Jones was in the second movie.
Yes.
She played Zula, which is a warrior lady.
Mm-hmm.
Zula was gender swapped in the comics where he originated. He was like a sorcerer wizard guy with warrior skills as well. Now, at the time, Marvel was doing the Conan comics. So Zula was a Marvel character, because that's where he originated, which means Grace Jones was the first Black female to be in to play a Marvel hero, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because
Well, there you are.
it's not MCU, but it's still a Marvel character, and it was
it's a
done in the
Marvel
80s.
comic. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which means Mako and Jerry Lopez as well kind of counts for a Latino and Asian.
And this was before 2015. Imagine.
Oh,
that.
this is
Yeah,
early
before it
80s.
became cool. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is so. They talk about Black Panther and all, but they should at least mention Grace Jones, even if it wasn't a superhero Marvel thing. It's
They're not going to, though. It's because it breaks their narrative, so they should, but they're not. So,
yeah. Oh, I got excited because I thought you said naked Faramir. She said naked frame. Sorry, never mind. I'm taking it down. I'm taking it down.
Who's talking about naked Faramir?
Yeah, I was like, oh well, there's something interesting is coming up here. All right, now I have, as I said, I've not seen this movie for quite a while, so I cannot.
To be honest, Robert E. Howard, he predated Tolkien when it came to fantasy. He was also friends with H.P. Lovecraft, and they would interact through letters and all. But as far as if you want to talk about great, long-lasting fantasy writers, Robert E. Howard his work is still being turned into comics to this day, and in about 10 years, his work, well, most of it will be 100 years old, and it's still going. And Netflix are doing a Conan show and a Solomon Kane show, which is also Robert E. Howard, and a Red Sonja one. Red Sonja, though, was not created by Robert E. Howard. He has a Red Sonja character in one of the stories, but it's not a Conan story. It's a gangster story set in the 1920s in the U.S. So it's not the sword-swinging chainmail bikini babe.
Okay.
So,
right.
It's still ongoing, and I mean, at the very least, the man should be high up on the list of fantasy writers in terms of longevity alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to be able to give him a little more attention, especially after I read his short stories. But speaking of losing attention, Princess Rennie must leave us and get her beauty sleep. So, Princess Rennie, thank you so much, Rennie, for coming and joining us this evening. I loved hearing your thoughts on your 2 fantasy movies that you brought with us. Is there anything you want to share or anything you want to say about where we will be finding you?
Well, thank you so much for the invite, Teresa. It really means a lot. It was great to meet you, OG, and great to speak to you again, Stieg. I believe this Saturday we're going to be talking about Lord of the Rings again, correct?
Correct. We'll be back with the 2 Towers.
So, yeah, we'll be doing that. And then later that afternoon, I'll be on Mr. Brown Alliance. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm sorry to poop out on you guys. It's just I need my beauty rest, a lot of it, evidently lately. But
no, hey, when I'm working, I'm the same. I'm the same. So you do what you need to do. I'm just so happy that you were able to make it.
Yeah, thank you so much. It meant so much. I really appreciate you guys. And thank you to the chat for all of your support. And I will talk to you guys soon, I hope.
All right.
Have a good evening.
Sleep well and dream of donkeys and dragons.
Oh, sure. Probably will now. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Kick 44 is speaking truth. If Faramir was in the movie, Teresa would have watched it every week. Probably. Yeah, bears approve of sleep. Rennie has a great voice. Yeah, it was at Naked Fame. Someone asked me if I spell it Teresa or Teresa. I usually spell it Teresa after Saint Teresa of Avila, though technically I give it the American pronunciation, if that helps. Yeah, good journey, Rennie. Everyone loves her. Oh my gosh! Sorry. Luffy is God says, I met Lundgren this summer. He is engaged to a woman from Trondheim and was here on holiday. He is a cool dude. Uh-oh.
Well, the woman from Trondheim is a traitor for getting engaged with a damn Swede. I hope you took her name.
I was waiting on that.
I was thinking Trondheim, so that means that he would show up in Trondheim. So if I want to stalk Lundgren, but that would probably not be cool. I don't want to
Well, you could just go to the local zoo. There's plenty of Swedes there.
Oh my God.
Oh no, Steve, why? No, well, it's not his fault. He's a Swede. He's amazing. He's an amazing specimen man. Okay, so I think we Drago is a Swede since when? Unfortunately, since birth. Well, the character is Russian, of course. All right, so I think we got your final thoughts. Am I correct there, Steve, on Conan?
Conan. If anyone in the chat haven't watched Conan the Barbarian from 1982, I think it is, go watch it. It's fantastic. And put the sound on a bit loud because the soundtrack makes it worth it.
Yes, soundtrack's amazing. All right, now we move to Allura. What's one of your movies?
All right, so we're gonna talk about Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
So Labyrinth, the classic, cheesy, classic fantasy about a 16-year-old girl that doesn't want anything to do with babysitting her. I guess it's her stepbrother or her half brother. And it stars, of course, it has David Bowie. And I was like hoping Rennie would stay in here because she's like, Stig's like, this is gonna, hopefully she doesn't get out of control. And I was like, well, not if, or maybe if when we start talking about David Bowie and his costume, things will get out of hand. So, but, that movie, I love watching growing up because it was this little classic fantasy of like a young girl who has her imagination, her pretend, I don't know if it was a diary or book. And, she's into fantasy and she's into her own world and stuff. And so she offers up her brother to Jareth, the Goblin King. And because, of course, she doesn't want to be stuck in the predicament of that she's in. And then when she realizes that she shouldn't have done that and he's gone and stuff, she goes on the adventure to get him. And that takes her through the labyrinth. And, of course, there's so much like fun, cheesy little, characters and tales. I really like the worm William, that little tiny worm. He's so cute. And then it also has even something that makes kids laugh and like it's kind of like the gross humor of like the bog being like the little fart bog kind of thing. So yeah, and David Bowie at the time. So what'd you think about David Bowie growing up, Teresa?
I always found him a little bit creepy to look at, but I did appreciate his music.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he was one of those at the time that was eccentric, right? And he created some good music. Some of the music too is like, oh my God, what the heck were you thinking? But he was an excellent performer as well with his music and stuff like that. And so that's one of them that I really like growing up is that fantasy there. And so we have David Bowie, and then who else was in that? It was Jennifer Connelly and Toby Fraud was the baby there, and the director Jim Henson. But guess who was the producer? One of the producers.
Kathleen Kennedy.
No.
Oh, sorry.
You're almost there. It was George Lucas.
Hey, yeah.
So if you ever watched it, like you could tell it's a Jim Henson story, right? But then you can also see a little bit of George Lucas's like creation in there as well. So he was a producer of that too. He was one of those like ghost producers or whatever, and he did help with the story and stuff as well.
Also, Billy Barty plays one of the gnomes or whatever, goblins, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He also plays the dwarf wizard in Willow.
Okay, that's right. Yeah,
excellent actor.
Right. And like I said, I liked the adventure she went on. I liked the imagination that, and her story that she created or that she was living off of to to find her stepbrother or whatever. But what I really liked in there is when they were in the ball, when they're in the banquet ball, when he seduces her a little bit. So you remember that?
No, you know what? I've actually never seen the movie.
What?
Yeah.
Something you have not seen, Stig?
Yeah, I've been, and I'm not going to watch it because Mara has been filling my movie viewing days upcoming with movies that I haven't seen. So I'm working through a list, and it got added to yesterday too.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's shameful that I hadn't watched It's a Beautiful Life or whatever it was.
Oh yeah. There's some movies that this man has not watched that he needs to be punished.
Yep, I watched it.
You do need to be punished.
I watched it though.
Yes, good man.
And this was fun, Stig. This was a fun because she's in this maze and everything is, of course, you know how labyrinths are. Nothing is what they seem, right? And so there's circumstances where she thinks she's going the right way and she doesn't, and she guesses wrong, you know, kind of deal. And, you know, like there's even like little fun little themes of there, like, you know, like the doors talking to her and stuff. So it's a really fun fantasy. I think that I watched it not too long ago. It still kind of holds up, but then as an adult, you're like, really? In some parts, you know, the farting bog is one of them. It's like you laughed at as a child, and if you still have that childish humor, then you'll still get it. Yeah. So Teresa, did you watch it?
Watched it a long time ago. The last time I think I watched it, it was 94 or something. So it's been a while, but it definitely is something of a classic. It has a lot of iconic things, and a lot of people have a lot of really cool memories from it. And David Bowie was just such a legend. I was devastated when he died because he was a genius, a musical genius.
Right. And he wrote all the score for that, all of it. Yeah. So he's the one. So he sang and he acted there, and, you know, and then you have like the mystical, like crystal ball that he uses as well. So it goes into a lot of like tropes in fantasy as well. So I think it's a fun one to watch and revisit, especially if you just want to get away from today's BS, you know, go put it on, laugh, you know, and stuff. One part that freaked me out was those little weird, like, orange animal creatures. I don't know if you remember, but they would take their heads off, and like they could take their body parts and switch with each other and stuff like that. And so they were trying to make her stay with them, and they were like taunting her and stuff like that. And I mean, it was just really, really creepy, odd. And I got creeped out watching that when I was younger. And then when I rewatched it, I was like, oh yeah, that still gets me. No. And so did you remember that, Teresa?
No, but
okay,
I should rewatch it.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly doesn't age.
No,
I haven't looked at her picture.
She still looks 30.
Wow.
Last I saw her, anyway.
Dance, magic dance, magic dance. There you go. And that's like one of those tunes too you can like jam out to all the time. It's like one of those classics as well, you know. So yeah. And so that's one of the fantasies that, you know, I really like to just sit down sometimes and just rewatch just for the fun of it.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, and then Last Jedi said the garbage lady was a creeper. Yes, like I said, Teresa, you got to go watch and revisit it. It's a fun, cheesy fantasy. I don't know if you would say it's timeless or not. What do you guys think in the chat? Because I know everybody's like all vibing in with this labyrinth one here.
Yeah.
So and then it has fairies, which fairies are not nice.
Yeah, fairies are evil.
Yes, they are. And they basically like they were going around spraying the fairies because they would go and land on you and bite you and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, most cool. I wish I could participate more, but you did remind me that I need to get off my arse and watch this again.
Yeah, and Stig, you do need to watch it. I think you would enjoy it. I think so.
Yeah,
I probably would. I did watch Flight of the Navigator for the first time the other day.
Oh, I haven't watched that in a long time. Oh my God. What'd you think about it?
I thought it was shit.
Oh.
How do you really think, Steve?
Okay, so why did you think it was shit?
It's just that kid flying around in that globe. It wasn't really much of a story, to be honest. It was just... it was really well made for its time. I'll give it that. And it had that 80s cheesy thing. But yeah. Anyway, it's a sci-fi movie though.
Yeah. And then right here, like what Naked Frame said, when the goblin, she tries to use her lipstick to mark her way through so she doesn't get lost or get turned around. And of course, there's these little creatures that take it and turn it around so that she does get confused. So there's a little bit of that humor kind of going on in that as well. And then I know Lost Jedi or Greg says that it's timeless for kids. Its audience ages out of it. So like I said,
I would probably have loved Flight of the Navigator if I watched it as a kid, because then I would have the nostalgia factor and all. But I just didn't like that one. I wanted to like it, and I just didn't.
I watched it one time. I was okay with it, but I haven't watched it since then. So I can't really say yay or nay with you on that. So yeah, when you have the chance to go watch it, watch Labyrinth, not Flight of the Navigator. So
yeah. Well, there we go. Okay, and I usually would go around for some final thoughts, but I think you're the one that really
like crickets.
Well, I mean, just no memory. But that's what's great about this, because when I do these and do things like the triple review, I hope to get maybe people watching movies that they may not have heard of. This is a good way to introduce people, and sometimes I know that I have to go and watch ones as well. Okay, well, so let's close out Labyrinth, and I'm going to talk about my first movie, the brilliant, with none other than the hottest man besides Faramir, who's fictional anyways, Ladyhawk! Ladyhawk with Rutger Hauer. Oh, there were other people in it, but, love this movie more than life itself. It's one of the best fantasy romance movies ever made, and all that deny that are my foes.
Oh, so you put that straight out there.
I put that straight out there.
Imagine how good it would have been if it didn't have fucking Matthew Broderick in it.
I know how you feel about Matthew Broderick. It might have been better. I thought Matthew Broderick was fine for what the role needed.
I just hate his face. I just hate him. His face, what he represents, the shape of the man, his voice, all of it. And I don't even like Ferris Bueller's Day Off because of him. But Rutger Hauer and Michelle Pfeiffer are superb in it, and the movie is great too. Just not him.
Yeah. The good thing is, well, he's kind of a bit of the narrator of it. As the movie goes along, it becomes more Rutger Hauer's, or Navarre, sorry, Rutger Hauer in his movie and Isabeau's. I love this movie so much because you think it's starting off as something of a comedy, and something's going on. Something's going on with this hawk and this lady and all that. And then there's a moment, the first time it turns into night, where Rutger Hauer has these women's clothes, and he's kind of holding them up against his face. And this was before 2021, so it wasn't going to be that. And you're like, what's this with this dude and this really tough guy, this really tough, muscular, tall, broad-shouldered man who's just perfect. And he looks like he's about to break. And then, of course, you realize that that's his lady love. That he can't be with her because they're cursed. And he cries so much in this movie. He loves her so much. And he would die for her. And it's just... And when the hawk gets hit by an arrow, and he's like, no, and stupid Matthew Broderick's character is like, I'm sorry, I know you like this little hawk, but it's probably gonna die. And he's like, no, and he's like gonna kill him over this hawk, and you realize because it is Isabeau.
Just to answer Greg in the chat, yes, I hate war games too, because Matthew Broderick, and I have not seen Glory because Matthew Broderick.
You need to see Glory and get over Matthew Broderick, because in the sense of, in that movie, he is not Matthew Broderick. It is actually probably the best role that he's done.
It has Denzel Washington in it too, right?
Yes, and Denzel Washington won an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Glory
Denzel is always great.
and Morgan Freeman. Glory is my hands down favorite Civil War movie. It is amazing. It is amazing. He does not ruin it at all. He does not ruin it
Is
at
it-
all.
Is it better than Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Much better. It's hard to watch though. That's what makes it so good though, because they weren't afraid to show you exactly what it would have been like if you were the first black regiment in the Union.
Mhm.
Everyone sometimes thinks, "Oh, all the racists were in the South." It's like, no.
No.
It was brutal. You're going to see a lot of racism, a lot of really the N word used about in its worst sense of the word, and the fighting is gruesome as it should be for the Civil War. But let's get back to Ladyhawk. Oh gosh, I'm talking about Glory. I'll talk about Glory some other time. That is one of my favorite movies of all time. This Glory is a great movie. But what I love about Ladyhawk is it really does truly show that you can have fantasy that is so raw, full of emotions. Lady Toriel, she flew away. Yes, she did. and he's like, I told the truth, Lord. And of course, the whole premise of it is that there was an evil bishop who sold his soul to Satan over this chick he was obsessed with, and did this horrible dark curse using the powers of darkness.
It was Michelle Pfeiffer though, so you can understand why.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. He just, and of course, first of all, Michelle Pfeiffer, her character Isabeau, like she would have wanted a dirty old man anyways. I mean, but she was in love with Navarre, who is a captain of the guards and the most perfect man who ever lived. So besides Farmer, and they were in love, and he lost his crap, so they ran away, and he did this dark curse. So she, during nighttime, would be a hawk. Well, daytime she would be a hawk while he was a human, and then when nighttime came around, he would be a wolf and she would be a human, because it was a special kind of torture where they would always be together but always apart. Then they figured out that there's this drunken priest who had betrayed them, and for his redemption, I guess he did a lot of penance, and God, I guess, talked to him or something and said, this is how you break the curse: a day without a night and a night without a day. It turns out it's spoiler in Eclipse. I'm spoiling the whole movie, but I love it. And they are able to do that in the moment that Navarre sees her in the eclipse for the first time, that he's able to see her as a human. And then when they're going to be together forever, because it's also a fairy tale, perhaps that's the best way to describe it. He's crying. He's so emotional. Oh, she's crying too, but you know, she's I don't want to be with her. So, and it's just so full of joy. I love this movie so much. Have you seen this, Olar?
I've seen it, like that's one I've seen a while ago, a long time ago, and I haven't rewatched it since then. So you're like reminding me of everything about it right now. So
I know. I'm starting to lose my mind here. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. And it's so love. And
also, it was directed by Richard Donner, who did Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
And here's a scary thing. I think Disney owns it now through their purchase of Fox.
Ooh.
No.
That should scare everyone.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
It was distributed by Warner Brothers, but I think 20th Century Fox might own it. If they did, then Disney owns it now. And that there is one prime meal for Disney wokeness.
Yeah. Just pray they don't, pull that out of the vault and try to do a remake of it.
No.
Yeah. So pray. Hey,
I've got God on my side.
They get cursed, and they switch genders.
And they'll be gay and
He's a woman during the night and the man not during day. And
Oh, geez.
don't give him ideas.
And then
Oh
Dan
my
Black Road, right? He says Filoni has plans for a remake. He will be the wolf.
yeah, and Wedge's wife will play the bird.
Yeah, stop giving them ideas. Yeah. Well, and it's also a funny movie. It is got some really good action. The score is incredible, except for part of it
it's a synthesizer movie. Synthesizer music set in medieval times.
You've got me there. That's what I was about ready to say. The execution of the score by using a synthesizer and making it sound like 80s was a huge mistake. But if you listen to the music, it was very good. And the love theme, they actually didn't really have it too 80fied and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The love theme between the two of them is a very strong melody. I would love, when I win the lottery, to be able to get the rights and the money to have an orchestra play that exact same score, but have it with a full orchestra and put it over it. And it would be very, very good. It was very ill-conceived to put it on a synthesizer.
Yeah, and holy crap, Richard Donner, the director, was on a roll for a decade there.
Yes.
He did Superman. He did The Toy with Richard Pryor, The Goonies, Ladyhawk. Ladyhawk and The Goonies came up the same year, actually. The Omen. He did all of the Lethal Weapon ones, and Scrooged. So,
Scrooge.
He was on a roll for quite a while there.
We don't have any directors now that are on a roll, or any new like independent creators because of what's going on right now. It's kind of
I'm thinking
we're in a dry spell now.
Yeah, I think I have some hopes for the guy who did the Dune movie, actually.
Okay.
Because he did the Blade Runner sequel.
Okay.
And while it's not as good as the first one, it didn't screw anything up either, in my opinion. So that's one I'm keeping an eye on. Other than that, it's pretty dreary.
Yeah, you've heard it here first. Stieg is watching you. He is going to watch your every move. Well, I think I've said all of my thoughts in one big long gush. So
yes, you did.
As we wrap this, I have feelings about this movie. As we wrap this up before we go on to the next movie, do you have any thoughts or final thoughts, Laura?
Okay, so with that, like I said, it's been a while since I watched it, but you have reminded me like how wonderful it was to watch it. So I may go back and revisit it, since it's been like Dona or ages and Dona means in my language, like years, like long time ago kind of deal. Yeah. So, so it makes me excited to go back and rewatch it. And that's what this is all about. It's like, if you haven't watched these movies or these shows that we're talking about in a long time, or haven't even at all, now's your chance to go ahead and check it out, because it's better than what's being produced today.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah. How about you, Stieg?
I'd say it's a very good movie, not a fantastic one. It has a great cast, except for Matthew Broderick, and it's rewatchable. It's and I bought it on Blu-ray. I think it was last year or the year before. I haven't watched it on Blu-ray yet, but I watched it because I wanted to rewatch it. So that's what I'm doing with Blu-ray movies now. Because when I had, when the DVDs was the thing, right? I used to just buy quantities, and it took up a lot of space. So now if I'm buying a Blu-ray movie, it's because it's a movie I want to watch more than once. Yeah. So I have Ladyhawk, and I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay then.
Oh. Excellent romantic fantasy fairy tale story.
Oh, there we are. So, Stieg, what is your next movie? Your second movie?
Well, aren't you supposed? Oh yeah, you just did a movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's your turn now, darling.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Well, Willow.
Willow! I knew someone was going to do it.
I almost did. I almost picked it, and then I was like, no, I'm going to go with my other one. So yeah, go ahead, Stick.
Yeah, Willow, produced by George Lucas, directed by the guy who directed the Solo movie. Warwick Davis is superb in it.
Mm-hmm.
One of his few leading roles, I believe. And he's not wearing a costume in it. He tends to wear makeup and costumes whenever he plays something. Plays goblins and the Leprechaun movies, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This one, he's on the screen, and he is great in it. Val Kilmer is superb. What's her name? Joanna Wally Kilmer, who is now Joanna Wally because they're divorced. You have Pat Roach playing General Kale. Pat Roach played usually big tough guys. He had 2 roles in Indiana Jones 1. He played the big guy in the bar fight in Tibet in the first Indiana Jones movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then played the guy who gets caught in the airplane propeller at the German base later in the movie. And he also played the big the big Indian guy in the second one that goes into the Stone Crusher thing, right? So huge guy, huge presence. Plays one of the villains. You have a lady villain. Pretty good special effects in it for its time. You have a little glimpse of Kenny Baker in there too in the dwarf village. Rather than they're not dwarves, they're called Nelwins.
That's right.
R2D2.
Quite a bit of Lord of the Rings inspiration in this movie. And the ending is very Lord of the Rings, Return of the Jedi-ish. With the evil force kind of consuming the evil villain in a sense. Great action scenes. Really great action scenes in this one.
I thought Val Kilmer was so hot and so good in this.
Yeah, he maintained a presence throughout a few of the movies since then too.
Soundtrack by James Horner, I think. Excellent soundtrack. Filled with practical effects. I watched this movie probably 50 times because a friend of mine had it on VHS and I borrowed it from him. And I watched it and my sister watched it with me. And then my sister had me borrow it from my friend again 50 times because she just wanted to watch that movie over and over again. And she did not want to watch it without me because I had to be there too. So I watched that one 50 times. Same goes for Beauty and the Beast. But Willow was that was a big deal in my home when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, the memories.
Go ahead.
George Lucas teamed up with a Marvel writer, Chris Claremont, I believe, and they wrote a sequel trilogy to Willow, which wasn't good at all. And I do believe Disney will be ignoring that when they make the Willow show for Disney Plus. I am very worried about what they might do with the Willow show, given that a female baby was the important MacGuffin in the movie, right? So who knows what they will do to the princess?
I can only imagine. I'm terrified. It's got that same chick that was in Solo. She's playing a character in it. Yeah.
She's
Kira?
No, not Kira. No, not the Khaleesi. The little girl with the red hair who showed up at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
If she plays the princess, that won't even make sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure what character she is.
Yeah, because the princess baby was white.
Yeah. I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist until I hear otherwise. Sir Poopus says it was James Horner's first experience with combining bagpipes and orchestras in his score. Interesting, because we all know what he. Yeah, because we all knew what he did with Braveheart a few years later.
A side note: if you have the Blu-ray and you watch it with the commentaries, there's a Warwick Davis track. He does the commentaries, and it is superb. The guy is fantastic at doing DVD commentaries, and he's even pointing out sometimes. If you look at that guard over there, you can see he's wearing sneakers.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Little goofs that happens. Yeah.
Yes, he's pointing out the goofs too. It's worth an extra watch if you watch it with Warwick Davis's commentary. Definitely is.
Well, yeah, and he has definitely got a pretty striking sense of humor.
Oh yeah, the princess's name was Elora.
That's right.
Elora Danan.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you were in it.
Yes. It's about. See, I'm a princess.
You are a princess. You are a princess.
I forgot that was her name, and it's like basically almost spelled like my name too, without the H. So
without the A as well.
Yeah, and this movie also had the chick from.
Yeah.
It had the chick from Upstairs Downstairs in it as well, playing the bad evil queen thing. Yeah, it was loads of fun. I have some very fond memories of seeing that in the cinema.
Like a car chase scene in it too with a wagon.
A car chase with a wagon.
Yes, yes, you're right. Oh my gosh, I need to rewind. Yeah, you're right.
I know. It's been a while since I watched this one too, so I gotta revisit it. Is this okay? When was the first movie that Val Kilmer aired in? It wasn't Willow, right? It wasn't Willow.
No. I
figured that much. It was a Top Gun.
I think that's the one. His first big.
Was it his first gig?
No, his first
it
big
was a comedy. I think it was a comedy, and it has Peter Cushing in it, one of his last roles.
It could be, but you know what I mean. When I said it's not his first gig, his first big role, the one that made him really famous. His first big movie.
That was he was the lead in the one with Peter Cushing.
Let me see. Was that Top? But Top Secret, is that what you're talking about? That's the silly one.
Yes. Yeah. Top Secret.
Yes.
Okay. God no.
Jinx. There we go. Lost Jedi. Yes.
He confirmed. I was like, I know that wasn't one of his, like Willow wasn't one of his first, but I know that he was, fairly new, still.
Yeah, I knew him first as his move in Top Gun, and I saw
they acted together again, and Warwick Davis did a show called Life's Too Short, which was made by him and what's his name, Ricky Gervais.
Oh, okay.
Where Warwick basically plays an asshole version of himself, and celebrities that he's worked with, he sucks up to them. Liam Neeson and stuff. They're playing themselves too, and Val Kilmer shows up in the special finale thing. He shows up at a restaurant dressed as Batman to try and get cast as Batman again.
Yeah.
And it's, if you haven't watched Life's Too Short, watch it. It's painfully funny.
Life's too short. Yeah.
Life's too short. Well, there we go.
Yeah, it's like 6 or 7 episodes. It's not long.
All right. Well, before we go on to Alora's next movie, Stig, do you have any final comments to say about Willow?
Awesome movie, really. It's not the Lord of the Rings. It's not a huge epic timeless thing, but it's plenty rewatchable, and you get a fun fantasy story with lots of action and effects and stuff that are done well enough, I think.
Yeah.
It has a lot of heart,
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. The full-blown AIDS thing.
Full-blown AIDS.
Basically, they have to do improv because Liam Neeson wants to do comedies. So they practice improvs in Gervais's office, and they start off with, Liam Neeson is supposed to be like a fruit seller, and Ricky Gervais is going to be a customer or something. And knock knock, and Gervais goes, yeah, my the fruit I bought is ruined, and Liam Neeson just goes, I have AIDS, I got it from an African prostitute.
Oh
my god, ruins the whole damn thing, because how do you do comedy based on that, right? Warwick Davis is just sitting there gaping.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, there you go.
And then they try again, and then he has cancer.
Oh,
so he ruins that too.
Oh boy.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to Laura. What is your second movie?
Okay, the second one, and I'm going like with nostalgia back in the days too as well. So Never Ending Story, director Wolfgang Peterson. And of course he was the screenplay writer, and along with Herman Weigel, and then also based upon the novel by Michael Ende. The stars was Noah Hathaway, Barrett Oliver, and Tammy Stronach. I think I said her name right. And I like that because it goes from a boy who is, who's not quite fitting in. He's bullied and stuff like that. And he goes into this like whimsical book kind of store and was, he pulls out a book and is told not to take it because that book is like evil or is possessed or whatever. And he's intrigued by it. And he takes it, breaks his way back into the shop and reads it. And that takes him on the adventure that he is. And there's so many places that he goes to where he has to go, like, and the place is called fantasy. So basically the book is fantasy, the place is fantasy. And so he goes on that adventure, and, and he, which takes him, and he has to help, like the mythical land of fantasy to be the hero from destruction. And so it takes him on that journey. We have the horse, we have that big giant dog dragon thing, which I thought was cute, but now I'm like kind of like, that's kind of funny now as an adult, so and he has to go through the gates, and I forgot the name of the gates, the glowing gates. Do you remember, Stig or Teresa?
No, I've only seen the movie once.
Okay. And again, everybody's like, I haven't seen this in a while too. Yeah. And so finally, when he gets to his destination, he loses a lot. There's a lot of turmoil and failures. But finally, when he gets to the princess, which she basically is the childlike empress, and his name is Atreyu, the boy Atreyu. So when Atreyu gets to the princess, basically fantasy is almost like just basically her palace, her temple is the only thing that's remaining. And, so he's called upon to say, and I forgot the words that he has to say. So someone in the chat remind me of what he has to say. So Atreus. Yeah. So, and then he, he's the last hero, and he has to help fantasy. So I think it's a fun adventure. I think it's, you get this little bit of like mythical adventure as well. And,
Would you agree if I said that the very long journey made the horse feel a bit bogged down?
Oh yeah. Yes, that was the saddest part, is that his horse literally goes in quicksand. He loses his horse. That's sad. That is sad.
Yeah. Well, he had to suck it up and pony up.
He had to suck it up. And then so like some of like the I know they're saying like parts of it, like he was bucked off the horse and kicked or stepped on and stuff like that. So there's like, that's a fact on there for Atreyu, the actor, getting hurt on set and stuff. But there was a lot of like things going on in that show. And I like it because of the adventure and how he gets through it, and how he's this reluctant hero that was bullied and stuff, and finds his own. He finds his own in that show. So,
yay.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
So let's see. Yeah.
Also, a little commentary on how books can transport you into a different world if you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say too, is like, he is escaping from his own reality, really. from being bullied and stuff into this little reluctant hero, almost like a hero's journey in a sense, but not quite, I guess you could say. Yeah. So
Well, speaking of things that belong in the bog, Matt Wilkins is in the chat.
Oh no.
that's okay. So not talking about Matt Wilkins, I'm talking about Lost Jedi or Greg's comment. He has to name her, so she needs a new name. That's right. See, I haven't watched it in like a year, so he has to give her a new name to help save Fantasy. There we go. It's Saint Nicholas Kenobi. Sounds like an
Okay, yeah, that Saint Nicholas Kenobi sounds like an a-hole. Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Oh,
no. Well, it's St. Nicholas Day, Wilkins.
Yeah. So basically, the princess says, "Say my name, say my name." No, I'm joking. But he has to name her to help save the land and stuff. And if I was, it's like growing up with that movie and stuff, and I watched it so many times when I was younger. It was such a good watch. It was such a good adventure fantasy. So, and it's like again, escaping in the book. And we always talk about that with no matter what genre we're reading, we want, and how today they are destroying, the escapism in these fantasies, right? And so this is what this is. It's like takes you back and makes you remember of like picking up the book and escaping from your own reality, no matter what's going on in your life during that time.
Yes.
So, and I think that's another message with that. Now that I think about it as an adult, I think that's another message about Never Ending Story, is that's what it does. And it takes you in, you can get lost in your books, and escape from reality no matter what's going on.
Yes. Well, no, and that always makes it very a good movie. And whenever a movie gets you thinking and it makes you takes you into that realm.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it as a child. I didn't have a lot of fondness for this particular one because I felt it was a little bit never ending.
It's like he gets to one destination, he has to go further, right?
Yeah, there did get to be a point where I was like, what the
Yeah, and he does get help along the way, just like, almost like a hero's journey, right? And, so he collects his friend, Atreyu collects his, has that dragon dog, and I freaking forget his name. It's like I said, it's been a year, and I just forgot his name. And then, he also, talks to some, like a rock formation kind of deal. I mean, it's very fun. It's very interesting. Yes, I can get that, it kind of lives up to the name because it feels like he's never going to get to that destination. And even when he's at the last, when they're at the dire needs of saving Fantasy, and she's like, you just need to say it. And he's like, say what? I don't understand, and it's like, come on now, just do it, and finally he renames her, and then they're in total darkness. And I'm not trying to spoil anything, but yeah, so I can get that, it feels like it could be never ending at the sense too. But yeah. So
yeah. Sorry, I just got attacked. So it's gonna take me a second.
Was it Wilkins?
Oh my God.
No, I think Wilkins would have been less destructive on all that.
Right, naked
Oh
fame.
my gosh.
No, any politics in our fantasy. No.
No, exactly.
It gets... Look at the Conan cast.
Right.
Diversity for story's sake, not to check boxes.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
The reason for Jerry Lopez being in there playing the archer guy, he's from Hyrcania, which is a different country far from where Conan is from. And they have, conversations about basically theology, whose God is the best and all. It adds to the vastness of the world. And Conan learns, that maybe there's something to his point of view as well. And, it's there for the story's sake.
Yeah.
It's not there just to check a box.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah, and then like the rock friends that he makes friends with or sees along the way, he's rock biter, and there's a sad part towards the end of it, like where he's like, they look like big strong hands, and he's looking at his hands, and he's like, I couldn't do anything to save Fantasy from nothing. So they're trying to save Fantasy from the great nothing. And so he's like, I have these big, strong hands, and I couldn't do anything about it. So that was kind of heart-wrenching too, as well as that, feeling that you're hopeless, that there's nothing you could do about a situation going on as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to address this, Steve?
yeah.
With a no.
And that's it. No, just concise and to the point.
I'll do it. Never-ending story. Here, that was really Steve. He threw his voice. There you are.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's projecting his voice.
It was sung by Limal.
The elf is leaving us. Need to get ready for work. We'll be listening. Great movie picks. Oh, well, thank you, Lady Elf. Thank you. Yes, Naked Fame is definitely, he is a fan of the Dark Crystal. We're not going to get there. Spoiler alert, because I know what my movie choice is. Good journey, everybody. Thank you, Lady Toriel.
Can I do an honorable mention at the end, because I had forgotten about one?
Let me see.
Should we be diverse, and since he's the only man in here, and allow him to do that? No, it's your channel.
I'm gonna roll for it.
It's Saint Nicholas Day today.
Oh, you know what? You're lucky. It must have been the spirit of Saint Nicholas, because I just rolled my yes and no dice, and it came up yes. You are lucky.
It's favoring him.
Yeah, but he tried to pull the Saint Nicholas card on me. That was shameless.
I know.
Yeah, shameless but effective.
I know, he knows what works. He knows what works with me. I probably would have anyways, but the dice was.
I would just go, what does the good Catholic in you tell you?
Oh, he's been on you now. Look at that.
Ouch. Steve's just going to go in there. He is definitely a fan of that. Well, okay then. Any final thoughts, Steve or Alora, about the Never-Ending Story?
All right. So Never-Ending Story, like I said, it's one of those where you can sit down and veg out on the couch and really get into the show. Like I said, it just reminds you of how great, getting to a book of fantasy is, and escaping from the world, and seeing someone going on their little, fantasy adventure. I really like the little points in there. Like, if you haven't watched it, pick it up or go get it. I don't know if it's streaming on any services right now, but you could find the movie and watch it, enjoy it. It's way better than what's, being, again, like I said, produced right now. And, and I think they did a really good job on that. And so that's my final thoughts on there. Stig, do you have anything to add?
No, it's a good fantasy movie, in the same alley as, Labyrinth and Willow, I suppose.
Yeah.
Rewatchable, very rewatchable.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Made to last.
It's almost like a never-ending rewatchability. I don't know. I'm not as good as you are at it, Steve. These little puns. Okay. Well, my second movie is the one, the only dun 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 Pirates of the Caribbean. Dun dun dun.
I almost went with that too, but I wasn't sure. I was like, So, girl, you got my interest. Okay, go on.
Yeah. Well, no, I Pirates of the Caribbean.
Depp, what can you say?
Yeah. Well, that is one of those movies that when it came out, I went with my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, okay, we'll watch it, whatever. That was back when you used to go to the cinema like every Sunday afternoon, just because that's what you did, even if movies were great or not. And then holy moly, I was very, very surprised at how damned good it was. And not just Johnny Depp. First of all, the score, absolutely amazing. An amazing score.
This is, I love the movie. I think it's great. But it's Disney ripping off something.
Oh, yes, Steve has some inside information about
it's
that.
It's Disney ripping off Lucasfilm before they even bought it.
That was a preview.
I'll tell the story. Back in the day, in the early
It's hard
90s.
to deflate your story right now.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not muses.
you're gonna like this too because it showcases what Disney's all about.
Yeah.
There was a video game, big seller, high. Everyone lost. Wow, really? Is that your biopic, Wilkins?
Sorry. Okay, I'm done. Mhm.
Anyway, there was a video game, story-based video game called The Secret of Monkey Island. It is about a young wannabe pirate who falls in love with a female governor who
Mhm.
gets kidnapped by ghost pirates, and he has to get a crew and a ship and go after her and save her. And he has to go to an island that can only be found through voodoo magic. Does that sound like Pirates of the Caribbean 1?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the movie was supposed to be released in the 90s. And the guy who wrote the movie script was the guy who wrote the script for Pirates of the Caribbean. And the Monkey Island movie had been canceled, so basically he just rewrote it
Mhm.
for Disney for Pirates of the Caribbean. So same story, right? Instead of the governor's daughter being kidnapped, it was the female governor instead, right? Same thing, ghost pirates, and that was a curse. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Disney
Oh,
ripped
yeah.
off Lucasfilm before they even bought it.
Yeah.
But Pirates of the Caribbean, the movie, is great.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's well, we all know that they're a bunch of bastards.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Bastards.
and just forget the whole Johnny Depp hype of,
Yeah.
of the movie. It just in itself, it was so well crafted, and I love the Caribbean, like the real Caribbean, and the
Mhm.
pirates, and they just got the atmosphere so well,
Mhm.
and they took elements from the ride too, and put it into the movie, and that was just loads of fun. And I got really pissed off when they changed the ride to fit the movie. I'm like, really? Come on, because that was what was so amazing. But so and the characters were genuinely appealing, not just Jack Black. Did I say Jack Black? Jack Sparrow, not just Jack Sparrow. That's in a whole other category. It was an amazing what Johnny Depp did with that character. But Elizabeth was appealing. Will was appealing. The little blacksmith, and by golly, the Commodore, who I think Elizabeth should have ended up with. I thought he was good. He wasn't your
Norrington?
stereotypical.
What's his name? Norrington?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
He-
and you have Gruber from Hello playing the harbor master.
Yes. Yeah. But usually the Brit is the big evil guy going, I'm evil, I'm British. But
Right.
he actually was a very sympathetic character. I loved him, and I actually frankly think Elizabeth, I will stand by, Elizabeth should have chosen him. He would have been a much better husband. And if things had gone the way Elizabeth might have wanted it by marrying, little blacksmiths and stuff, she would have died of pregnancy about a year later, and poverty and all that stuff. But the score was incredible, absolutely incredible. The score with the track that's he's a pirate, the big theme that you had with Jack Sparrow, and the production values, everything about it was just great. And now to go into the Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp, it was a revelation. It's almost a cliche nowadays, but I think people forget what it was like to see it the first time.
Mhm.
The first time, and it really truly blew you away about how genuinely funny he was and how genuinely different the roles that we had seen him play up to that point. And he was so infuriating. I just love it. And at the end, when it ends with Will and her kissing, okay, fine, they can get together, whatever. And that music starts going. It just, I I'm going to start ranting and raving in a very strange way because I just love it so much.
Okay.
Yeah. And the costumes, the dress, I want that dress so much. And all that bitching about the corset, she's full of crap. Corsets are awesome.
You like quit bitching now.
Yeah, corsets actually give you far more support. So she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's just that Keira Knightley just needs to eat a hamburger or something so she can have something up there to shove in. But Johnny Depp killed it. What a great character. Yes, he was amazing. I will end that, Matt. Oh wait. Matt's having a fight with someone?
With himself?
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure. Naked Fame says he was 40 and Elizabeth was 18. Miss Martin is gross. Well, I take exception to that. I am not.
But that was the standards back in that time, so they were being true to the times right there.
Oh yeah, that was not abnormal back in the day.
Yeah, that wasn't. Yeah.
And not only was it not was it abnormal, it was actually in many ways preferred. First of all, he wasn't that old, but also as a woman. Women couldn't make their own choices and they couldn't make their way in the world. It was far preferable to have a man well established in their 30s or even in their 40s where they could look after them. If that's why I'm saying if she had ended up kind of marrying Will, that would have been a bad match in real life for that world back then.
Right. Because of he's a basically commoner person anyways, right?
Yeah, well, not just he's a commoner, but the ability to give her a comfortable life.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I mean, because that's what they are. It's like, there's different type of standards there. And she comes from, like, I'm going to say it, from the high class society, right? And stuff. And so there's a lot expected even back then of a woman. Her value was basically her producing the family, right? But the man has to provide. And if he's not wealthy, then that he's not going to be sought out for, right? Because he can't really care.
Exactly. And they bring this up in a lot of the Jane Austen movies and stuff. That women could not make their own way. Right. And that's why the dad was pushing it so hard. But they did a very good job of making him sympathetic and very hot, especially the second movie. I know we're supposed to talk about Will being the hot one, but oh my gosh, he was so hot he had his hair down, he had a hairy chest and all that. Yeah, exactly. And Stig's getting, apparently, according to Matt Wilkins, Stig is getting special candles for Christmas.
Yes, he is. That's what I hear. That's the rumor.
That is, there is no truth in that rumor. There is no truth in that rumor.
What's your sources? No, joking.
Matt Wilkins. Stig has the movie Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, the third one at Wilkins' End.
The size of 40, he probably had already buried a wife or two.
So Teresa, which one's your favorite out of there? Because I know I have the whole collection, but I know there are some that are like, what the hell were they thinking? So what's your favorite? What's your favorite out of the series?
Oh, the first one. To me, the first one's the only real one. I was not fond at all of the sequels. The only part I liked was the second one had the Commodore being all hot and dirty and all that. But besides that, that's not enough to make the movie.
The sequels, basically, in the first movie, Jack Sparrow is a little bit weird, but he's also very competent.
Right.
In the second and the third one, they just turn him into slapstick humor.
I think he starts digressing as the sequels go along, as other events happen.
In the third one, they have like a 20-minute scene where they're trying to get all the pirates to join the battle, and then the battle happens and only two ships fight. So what was the point of getting the other ones to join them?
Okay. By the way, I've just Googled it. According to the official source. No!
What? I know, his mind
Sorry, I've got this on the mind. I got to protect this man. This is what they say in the details about the movie. The main events of the film take place when Elizabeth is 20 and Norrington is 28.
Okay, I knew they were like within 10 years of each other.
Yeah, you
so
see, he
there's
wasn't
only
that old.
between them.
No.
That's not gross, Mr. Naked Fame.
My
That has been
grandfather and
defamed.
my grandfather and grandmother, they're like 10 years apart.
Yeah.
So when they got married, so he was a lot older than her. So
Yeah. And it must be a question because apparently some people really worked it out, and so a lot of people have they wanted to know. They wanted to know. So there you have it. There you
I
have
got
it.
thrown out of school for something like that.
What?
Because I was making out with a girl in my class, in the bathroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone got pissed, and I got thrown out, and that's when I realized maybe teaching is not for me.
Oh my God,
Steve,
Steve.
oh gosh, I knew it. I knew
Oh
it.
God.
Oh gosh. Well,
I'm kidding. I was never a teacher.
yeah. Yes, he was not, and yes, everything was
Everybody's
wrong.
like, what? Okay, Steve. The chat like is totally like, no, thank you.
I made it up.
Yeah, thank you. This is how rumors get started.
Right. And you don't want to fall into those kind of rumors, darling. You don't want
people that don't like you will sit around and go, we have him now.
Yep.
Yeah. And I am Googling this. That is the age of the actor, too, at the time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Jack Davenport. So just saying, don't you mess with my men. Don't you mess with my men.
You had Mackenzie Crook playing the pirate with the wooden eye.
Yeah.
That is a very underrated actor. He's been in a lot of great stuff lately. He has been playing dual roles on a show called Britannia, which is supernatural conflict between Romans and Druids back in the day. Takes place in England. So it's like Vikings-ish kind of. It's awesome.
Oh. Well, there you go.
It has Palpatine in it a little bit too.
Oh, okay.
And the guy who played what was it? The janitor at Hogwarts, the guy with the cat.
Oh yes, he's an amazing actor. He's in all sorts of
he's in it.
Yeah. So Teresa, what did you think about like how Depp portrayed Jack Sparrow? Like, you know how when you see him and he's kind of like loopy a little bit and stuff like that. What did you think about that when you first seen that?
It just blew me away. It was so weird and wacky and funny. And from what I understand about the commentary, he wasn't necessarily written exactly like that. And so the first time that Johnny Depp was kind of acting it out, they were like, wow, that is so funny and so wild, and that is so cool.
Did you know? Okay, so did you know that, like, I think it was like behind the scenes or like an interview with Johnny at that time, and he was like, I need to act like, like a pirate that's been out there under the sun a lot, and how it affects the person and stuff like that. So he kind of like based how his character upon like how the sun affects him, how the elements affect him, and and all this, and like and stuff like that. So that's why we got what we got with Jack Sparrow. So it was pretty.
Also, I would like to point out that ever since Wilkins showed up, the chat has kind of died.
Wilkins killed the chat. No,
I think that there's some other streams did start. Said you let Stieg finish his thought. Tisk tisk. I always let Stieg finish his thought. I know how to behave.
At least
myself.
I have thoughts.
Oh, yeah, no, but you're exactly right. As well as the whole rum thing that he had a pirate. First of all, pirates would look like Johnny Depp. They would be ugly. They'd have bad teeth, and they would be drunk all the time. And yeah. This movie gave us so many great lines, like the one I was just thinking about. But why is the rum gone? And she's like, blah, 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 blah. And she yaps for about 10,000 minutes.
And he's like, won't you just shut up?
And then he goes, but But why is all the rum gone?
Right. He's like, you
He
didn't
just
answer my
listened to
questions.
one word that she said.
Yes. So that was fun too. Yeah, so that was a fun adventure. It's like when it first came out for me, I really fell in love with the movie too as well. And so that's where I started collecting. I have every single one of them. I think my least favorite one, I don't mind Dead Man's Chest. At World's End, it kind of got weird, but as you got to the last one where it seems like Dead Man tells no tales, I believe it is.
Is that the one with the trident?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that is but the one on Stranger Tides where we have what's her name on there?
Is it the one where it's his son? Where it's Will's son?
Yeah.
Penelope Cruz.
Yeah, Penelope Cruz. So the one with Penelope Cruz, which is on Stranger Tides, sorry. I really thought that this was kind of like if you were going to look into like the wokeness in a sense, that's when we started seeing that, because they were putting her in front of him as the character and stuff for a time being. And so I thought I was like very off with that. I didn't like it really. So
yeah. The part I liked about the final one, the last one that they did, was that it kind of brought it full circle for me. It's like, okay, they finally get Will and they got the son, and they even brought back Keira Knightley for 5 minutes. I thought it was a good way to just end it.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for it to be done. I'm ready for it to be done. It doesn't need any more. And they probably won't let Johnny Depp do it because he got canceled over... Well,
no, he lost. I remember, I think that they were going to do another one, a part 6, I believe. And then when all that shit went down with Headland and stuff, or whatever her name is, that kind of got taken out, the rug pulled out from underneath him. But I think that it's okay. I don't want another Pirates. I think we're done. With this, because there's like some good ones, and then there was like these other ones where it's like, I did like Barbossa. I thought he was a very
amazing
character. Yes, I really
great actor.
Exactly, he did excellent.
Is, excellent in the movie where he plays Peter Sellers. There's a biopic of Peter Sellers. He plays him superbly.
I think the whole cast was just amazing.
Yep.
I think that it's like one of them where they casted everybody and they went well with the story. They went well with the characters. They delivered. So I think with that, I was pleased with every single one of the roles there. And, there are eye candy in there as well. I think that even if you like Penelope Cruz, she's eye candy for guys. So, you have the eye candy for guys, eye candy for girls in there. Even with the one on Stranger Tides, I still think that there was good acting in there. That's not my favorite one. That's my least one right there. So,
perfectly understandable.
I'd like to point out the guy who plays the governor too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
excellent.
Yeah, Jonathan Pryce.
Also played a Bond villain in the second Pierce Brosnan Bond movie.
Yeah.
Played the guy who created fake news to make money.
Yeah. Well, and Game of Thrones, of course.
Yeah.
He was a great stage actor. He originated the role of the engineer in Miss Saigon, the musical. Won a Tony for that. Great actor. You can see. And he was in the musical Evita. Played Juan Perón.
He was in a horror thriller movie from, I think it was the 80s. And had Timothy Dalton in it too, I believe. It was two people selling corpses for to someone who was researching corpses, but they got greedy and started digging them up from graves and all, and eventually they started killing people so they could sell fresher corpses. It was a pretty grim story. I had Jonathan Pryce in there and a couple of other famous people.
I love him. He's great. Dan Backward says Pirates had more than one Bond villain in this series. Naked Fame says he saw Miss Saigon live on Broadway back in 93. Yes. Oh, believe it or not, so did I. Oh, no, wait. It was 94. Not, of course, the original cast, but very, very devastating musical. Someone asked,
who's the second Bond villain in the Pirates series?
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
not
sure I'm
sure.
missing someone obvious now.
Yeah, because they're all British, so they probably were. Because of course, villains have to be British. Everybody Google. Yeah, and also I believe Naked Fame also said asked about. He said Black Flag. I think you were talking about Black Sails. I know that Stieg is a big fan of Black Sails.
Oh, Black Sails is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. I would say if you watch Black Sails, when you're done with it, watch Treasure Island from 1990 with Charlton Heston and Christian Bale. It's Black Sails is basically a prequel to the old Treasure Island novel, and the one from 1990, the movie, is the one that follows the book closely. It basically does the book perfectly. It has Julian Glover in it too.
Yes,
and all kinds of big names: Christopher Lee, Oliver Reed, Charlton Heston.
Yeah, and I don't know. I might have listened to someone's advice and watched it over the summer, actually, while I was in Florida by the ocean. And I hate to admit it, but he's right. It is a very, very good movie. Probably the best adaptation.
Dan Blackroyd says Javier Bardem is in the last one. He's right. He was a Bond villain, and what was it, Spectre? One of the newer ones. So that is true. 2 Bond villains in it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Well, there we go. Well, all right. Any final thoughts about the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Stig, you go ahead and go.
Yeah.
Well, first one is the best in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Then they gradually get worse, but I never thought they were unwatchable. Even the bad ones have rewatchability in terms of, guilty pleasure, right?
Yeah.
So I never thought any of them were, downright stinkers.
No. Yeah, I got a little sick of the plot, the way it was going in the third movie. It was like, enough already. Let's just finish up this round and get on to something different.
Yeah, World's End, when they go find him, take him out from being killed, take him out from
it just went on for friggin' ever.
And him licking the rocks and then turning into crabs.
It was basically the ending of Empire Strikes Back. On Solo.
Yeah, there you go. They have to go rescue the person. Yeah, exactly. And for me, like I said, this was another one I was considering about talking about is Pirates. And I really, really, like I said, when it came out, I really, really liked it. And then then I started following it as the other ones started coming out. And again, like I said, I have my favorites and what have you. But I just like the cast. I like how well they portrayed their characters. And I like the overall story. So I'm just like curious now that Stig, reminded us like that's like copy of something that Lucasfilm was going to produce and never did. So I'm like curious about like if Lucasfilm ever did their story, like how well that would have been, because we're looking at it like through the Pirates basically. And it's just a fun fantasy adventure, and so that's that's what I have to say about that. Yeah.
And if you're having fun, the rest of it doesn't matter, does it? And I want to make it clear that when we're talking about some of these fantasy things, it's to bring some fantasy movies, but they don't necessarily have to be great movies. They're just movies that we like to watch. That's also, I think, a little bit of the art that we have lost. As I said previously, when we used to just go to the cinema just because, hey, it's time to go to the cinema, see what was going on, see a movie. But before they got so daggone expensive, that was when I stopped going to see movies in the cinema. Well, also when they started to suck. But, if you're going to spend $5 for everything, that's a big difference than like, oh, I'm going to have to spend $30 and it might suck. So, so that's how it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Naked Fame. We do. The panel is full, but I do appreciate it, and I will hope that you will continue to come see it. I do appreciate everyone in the chat, but before we leave, I did. Oh wait, did I just skip you, Steve? Did you have any final thoughts?
No.
No,
I
good.
went first.
You went first? Okay, I just my operating center has been very, very fast. Steve, the dice rolled in your favor, and also you pulled the Catholic card, the St. Nicholas card.
Oh yeah.
So now you may.
Mention.
He played. He played.
Oh, it's very similar to the Never-Ending Story.
Okay.
Last Action Hero. A kid gets a magical movie ticket that transports him into a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Oh,
it's called
yes.
Jack Slater movies, but it's the same, right? Gets transported into a book, and the other one gets transported into a movie. Same concept. So he's basically in the movie story, and he's pointing out he can predict what's going to happen in the movie because the movie is cheesy, right? It has all the tropes and all. And then Charles Dance plays the villain. And then it kind of backfires because the villain and Arnold's character get transported the other way later on. So they're in the real world, and action movie logic no longer applies. So if you get shot in the real world, you're actually going to die, you know? So yeah, it's a fun movie. I don't know if you've seen it. Has Ian McKellen in it too, playing Death.
Oh,
I love.
There's a lot of movie characters and stuff come to life, and Ian McKellen's Death. Yeah.
Like a lot of these, I do recall seeing them perhaps when we used to go to the video store on Friday night with a bunch of friends and rent out a few of them. But I need to revisit them. I will be reviewing that probably on the triple review sometime very soon. Very soon. Oh my gosh, Matt Wilkins agrees with you.
Yeah, it is a great movie.
Wow.
It's seemingly an action movie, but it's more a family movie.
Yeah, but
Arnold is great in it. You have all kinds of cameos in it. Yeah, it's get it watched if you haven't seen it. It's not a fantastic classic or anything, but I'd say it's in the same alley as Never-Ending Story, to be honest.
Yeah.
They just swapped books for movies, really.
Precisely, yeah. Oh, and Naked Fame, to give some clarification, it's because Matt Wilkins hates Stig's guts, or pretends he does. The fact that he publicly agreed.
Charles Dance, in movies, as soon as he shoots someone, the cops arrive, right? He gets out into the real world and just realizes, hey, this is different. So he shoots a guy and nothing happens. And, it just goes, I just murdered a man and I did it on purpose. And all he gets back is someone yelling, hey, shut up, I'm trying to sleep. So he's like, yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, the chat, you're funny. Famer isn't in it. He killed Mozart.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's actually fiction, by the way. That didn't happen. But dang it, he got one hell of a requiem out of it. Oh my gosh, Matt Wilkins. Silent but deadly.
Quote from the movie. Leo the Fart. It's a funeral. The corpse falls into an oil pit. And you get the Leo the Fart is a mobster. He's a bomb. They turn him into a bomb. And Leo the Fart will fart again, right? So it's gonna explode. So just drop him into oil to prevent the blast.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you heard it here first, kids. The last action hero. Oh, okay. Matt Wilkins is back. The chat is alive and well. I didn't kill anything. Suck it, Steve.
They thought you left.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, okay. Great stream, everyone. I really enjoyed revisiting a lot of these. Thank you for the chat. You were on fire tonight. And those of you that stuck with us to the very end, I know it's so good to see all your different thoughts. What were you saying, Steve?
Yes.
I wasn't saying anything.
Oh,
No.
sorry. It's just a voice in my head. Okay.
So your voice
you know what?
head?
If you heard a voice, my voice in your head, it's weird because I thought I only lived rent free in Wilkins's house, head, whatever you call it.
Yeah, leaving what Phil's and Wilkins said. Okay, well, maybe you live in more than one head.
I am not gonna touch that at all.
Not touch it with a 10-foot pole, but
Yeah, don't touch Wilkins's head.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Steve would have enjoyed your post. Show him. Oh, I'm not sure to which one you're referring about. La Brea, perhaps? The tar. So it's the tar. Pits, I believe. Yeah.
It's the
and go ahead, folks, and subscribe to Matt Wilkins. Despite everything that has been said to the contrary, he is actually amazing. Actually, it's Steve that is the trash person. I am completely on Matt's side. I'm actually completely on Steve's side. I'm Switzerland. I'm like Bella in Twilight in this situation. But yeah, Matt Wilkins has an amazing channel where he talks about EU lore, and right now he does some board games. And you will sometimes even see the three of us popping on now and then. Okay. Oh, it looks like he's saying something nice. Oh, and some who came in halfway. Yes, indeed. You came in halfway. I do appreciate anyone that stops.
Yeah, Wilkins is always halfway.
And Keck, you were amazing tonight. Thank you so much. We definitely needed you, and you came to my rescue like a knight in shining armor from a long time ago.
From
Matt
a
Wilkins.
long time ago.
Yeah, Matt Wilkins. This was thank you for entertaining banter and keeping Stieg off of drugs. Well, I look after him. What can I say? I just tell him it's cocaine and it's really just flour.
No, it's really meth. Remember, it's really meth.
Wait, Stieg uses meth. No. I thought
that's Nina.
No, Nina doesn't use meth. She just sells it.
She cooks it. I sell it. He buys it. Remember?
No, Mora or someone buys it. It wasn't me.
Yeah, and then I ship it. Well, you got to be careful though. I was about ready to say something out loud that you never say out loud, especially in my part of the world. It rhymes with Martell. Not even gonna joke. I don't want to die. So, I do try to keep him off drugs. I do, but would he really be the same?
Who knows?
No, Stieg is not on drugs. I'm being very bad, and I don't want to be punished in D&D, so I'm on his side. Naked. Oh wait, I already did that one. Okay, I did do that one. Keck kicked some Spanish. Yes, exactly. Keck was the man. If he wants to be called Stieg, he should spell it that way. Well, he does spell it that way. That is how it is spelled pronounced in Norway. Norwegian.
Our I's are pronounced as your E's, basically.
Correct. Yes. It's a Germanic language. It's from the same family. Well, thank you, Keck, for putting the links in the chat. We'll start with ladies first. Alora, where can we find you?
Hi, everyone. I am your Legends girl trying to make it in this disc-canon world. And you can find me on my channel, OG Star Wars, and on Twitter as well with almost the same handle. And I am coming out with a brand new show for my channel, and it's called HoloNet Journal, which is going to basically look at the past event stories and everything produced by Lucasfilm pre-Disney. So check it out. It's going to be on the 29th, and it's going to air basically last Wednesdays of every month, and just getting into Star Wars events and stuff like that happened in the past. So it's like kind of like Flash, back, the fun back in the past or whatever. And Copy Chat Thursdays 9 a.m. with Stieg as well. And so, yeah, those are the two main ones, and literature review, which we're going to push back until after the holidays. So if you guys were following along with reading Deceived, then you still have chance to finish as well. A lot has happened in my family, and we're having the holidays going on. So that's the reason why I'm pushing that back. So, and that should be it. So thank you again, Teresa, Miss Martin Muses, for having me on. I had a great time, and Stig as well. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. And Stig, where can we find you?
On this channel on Saturday, and Alora's channel on most Thursdays, and Maura's channel on Fridays. Pretty much it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Also, on my channel, please stay tuned. It's quite the full week. We're going to be having tomorrow the triple review where we're doing Christmas movies. Then Wednesday, we're going to talk crochet. It's going to be a very crafty hour with the Crochet Geek. That will be on Wednesday. And then Thursday night with my nerdy home and Biggles.net. Biggles Mets. We are going to be talking about season 1 of Once Upon a Time. So please stay tuned. And of course, the Two Towers on Saturdays. So please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for being here. And be certain to, if you're watching your fantasy movies, I don't even know what you need to be certain about, but just be cool. Just be cool, everyone. Good night.
Good night.